Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Siren and Kyron. I said Siren and Kyron, but this is Cy and Kai. But hey, it's what it do, y'all, what it do. This is For Music's Sakes. This is a podcast where we will be discussing and rating different albums that we've heard, either from the past, from the present, and do other reviews as well. We'll be going through different genres, from hip-hop to rock to gospel, any local artists, anything like that. And I'm going to introduce my friend Kyron, and then I'll describe a little bit about myself too as well. Say what's up to the people, Kyron.
What's good? No, I don't really sound like that. What's good? What's good? My name is Kyron Walker, and I am a music director out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's about it. Well, no, it's not about it. I got a wife and 3 kids, and that's about it. And I love the Lord.
The Lord.
There we go. The Lord with a T. Yeah.
Oh man, that's my fam though. That's my fam. My name is Cy McClure. I am a husband, a father of 2 children, wonderful children. They teens, man. So I'm going through the teen years, but they're awesome. And I am also I work and do some carrier service stuff, but musically wise, I have been a producer, and I have also managed different artists in between that. And I do have a management company that I've started called Bridge Music. Yes, Bridge Music Management. Yes, and it's a good start to some things, man. Like, I'm going into the management thing because producing wise, getting a family and stuff like that, I can't be up till 4 a.m. like I used to. But I've made records with many artists, very successful people, very people I hold dearly to my heart. Yeah, man, we're doing this because this is something that we have fun doing. So yeah. We're gonna say some stuff maybe that may not be to your agreement. That's totally fine. I mean, this is what music is. It's all about opinions, and wholeheartedly, like, they're just jokes too. If we do say anything crazy or funny, whatever like that, we hold nothing personal against any artist that we talk about, any record label that we talk about, producer, whatever the case may be. So have a heart.
Let that be known.
Yeah.
Let that be known.
We're gonna let it be known right now. Have a heart, man. We have opinions. And we can humble ourselves too. We can admit when we're wrong. So if you have an opinion too, just hit it up in the comments, and do whatever. But we're gonna get into do you want to introduce
the Minstrel Show?
You
talking about the Minstrel Show?
Yeah, you want to introduce the album? Who is it?
Oh no! I'd rather you do it. I'd rather you
gotta do it.
You was on a roll.
Nah, fam. You're gonna do it. Because you brought this one up. So I'm gonna let you introduce. It's Black History Month, and you got your black t-shirt on.
Yeah, I got. Yeah. My melanin is glowing and whatnot. I can't help that. When we got the yellow on. So I did choose Little Brother's The Minstrel Show as our first album review, primarily because it's one of my favorite albums, but also it is now February, so I thought it would be good for Black History Month as it deals with heavy themes, but in a satirical way. So I thought that'd be good. I mean, the album title alone, The Minstrel Show.
Exactly. And that's a way to start a first episode of review. We're talking about Minstrel Show, guys. All right.
Yeah.
Talk about
blackface. Yeah, we're gonna talk about blackface on our very first episode.
Straight up bamboozle.
Yeah.
Yes. So, man,
go ahead.
Man, bro, like, kind of the same way. I'm kind of glad that you chose this album, because we've talked about many different albums before we even started this thing, but it was like, man, we need a fresh one that we haven't talked about before to, one, just be on the top of our minds and just make it as genuine as possible. So yeah, we had to go with The Little Brothers. Oh yeah, I still got it, bro. That's why I say it's got to be on video, because I still have this thing. This is original. This is now. See, now I'm gonna sound old because we're talking about like. See, I got a vinyl back here. Black Puma. That's a whole other deal. I'll talk about that some other podcast. But but like I feel old now because I'm talking about CDs. Like this is what was in CD cases, man. Like you get the whole whole thing. But back in the day where they actually, let me see if I can find it, where they wrote their lyrics inside. Like this is everybody's verse, bro. Everybody's verse. So it's like, but it making me feel old now. Everything's streaming. You got Spotify, Tidal, all this other kind of stuff, man. But it's like this is what we used to do back in the day.
A couple things, okay? I want to interject here. A couple things. So one, did not know you had that, and I'm like I'm elated, but also I'm like aggravated. Okay, that I don't have that. I don't have that. I did not get into them like in that way. Okay, for those, if somebody's listening out there in podcast land, a CD is a compact disc, if you will. Okay, a compact disc. Just that's for the young people. Okay, that's just for the young.
And D stands for, right?
Yes. Whoa. We just lost all the people under 25. And I'm sorry.
The demographic is dropping already.
Man, I can't believe you have that. That's gonna make it easy to look at the lyrics, man.
Oh yeah, exactly, bro. But see, I didn't look at the lyrics right now because I didn't want to. I just wanted this to be a genuine thing happening, man. I just listened to the album like twice actually. The first time it was just a plain listen, just riding around or at work. It's like, okay, how am I vibing to it right then? And then I was like, okay. I listened to it during the workout too. But then I was like, okay, let me sit down. I'm gonna put my headphones on and just go through and analyze the stuff and just get what I feel from that part perspective, I should say. But bro, I'll have to say, so I do got to say this first. We are going to rate this album. All right.
Oh God.
So we developing a rating system, but the top rating is going to be classic. And it's not spelled the same, it's going to be CLASSYK. And the purpose of that is because this is the Psy and Chi connection or the Chi and Psy connection. So we're just going to do that with it. So if it's up there, it's going to be a classic. And then if it's kind of in between, it's a little tweener.
Tweener. Yes.
Kyra was talking about it earlier, but he said it's a tweener, or as I like to say, I mess with it. I mess with it. Or it's we in San Antonio, Texas over here, and Kyra was in San Antonio for a while, So we don't. He's still, even though he's in Tennessee, he's still Texas.
Oh, definitely, all day.
Like we go straight up go Spanish. It's gonna be basura, trash. Sorry, man. What do you want me to do?
I love the shrug. The shrug is everything.
No,
that's great. That's great.
I came up with this idea of just moments before. But I'm going to make it sound like I planned this all out. So there's a white background here. I didn't know what else I could put up back here. But I had the great idea as if this makes it to be a classic in our rating, it's going to be on the wall. And as we build classics, we'll build it across, down, all that other kind of stuff.
That's gonna be hot, man. I like that.
Yeah.
So will a Mims album ever make that?
Mims?
Oh, never mind. Yeah, never mind.
Mims who? It's gotta be hot. It has to be hot.
He said
no pun
this is why.
Pun all the way intended. Pun all the way.
Yeah. This is why he's hot, The shrug, man. That's I love that shrug. Dang.
Yes, man.
That's amazing. Okay, so how you wanna kick this thing off, man?
bro.
We got the yellow on. I didn't realize.
Yeah, we didn't even plan this, bro. Like it's just like, yeah, I just feel blackety black
yellow,
today.
The yellow with the album though. That got the yellow on the album, you know.
Yeah, it got the yellow. I almost had like this rustic shirt I was thinking about because I did want to match the browns with some yellow and stuff like that. But he's like, you know what? I wanted to represent because this company that I'm wearing too, and this is promotion. You know, if you know, it's guy in San Antonio. It's Sumai. It's S. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's SUMAA. Dope people, man. Black owned apparel place, and very sweet people, man. They treat me like a king when I walk through the door.
Support. That's what they doing now.
Yeah.
Support.
But man, it's just a shout out to them, man. Like I just like saw it now, and I was like, oh, man, let me support them. It's Black owned too. Black History Month. This is a perfect opportunity too, man. I don't need no money, you know. I'm just saying out there, go check them out. They out there, go check them out. Yeah. But yeah, bro, let's just start it from the beginning, man. Like, if we could go out of order, in order, whatever you want to do. But first of all, I would like to say, from the beginning, and you know me, like, I love the Boondocks. I love satirical humor. And the opening itself in this thing, we like to welcome to everything that there is to know. This is our love, this something, it's our minstrel show. But it was so like televised where it was just like I felt like I was in a room watching that big butt TV, like an old school showcase about to happen. Like I was watching an old school parody of like In Living Color, but just with people gonna be making fun of black people or something like that.
Right.
But just the opening alone, bro, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm for this all the way. Like I know what I'm about to get myself into.
Wow.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I guess I wanted to see what others were saying about the album because I had never really done that. Like when I got into the album, I just got into it because I liked it. I think somebody put me onto it when I was in Alabama that year, and I just liked it. I didn't go. Normally, I would go around kind of looking at what people say so I can like judge that against what I think and like, oh yeah, they're right. Like, but I didn't do that. So this is like fresh to me, like reading, you know, about their album or whatever. And so I read, I think Apple Music has a little write up on them on this album, and they mention Spike Lee's Bamboozled. So yes. I wanted to ask you about any references from that movie that made it onto the album, because as our audience will quickly find out, I am not, you know, well versed in certain blackety black things, and I would like to be, but I am not. I am on my way. As this shirt is, I am on my way.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, are you just wearing this to make the appearance that you're blacker than what you?
I am appropriating.
I am culturally appropriating myself to show you I am for everybody.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I have American Eagle underneath. Just black.
I'm wearing a polo underneath this thing. I'm about to go and get my ascot and get back to my people.
Yes, my people. I like that. But no, if you can break it down, I don't remember, and this is gonna, you know, for those, you know, y'all can revoke my black card. Okay, fine. Okay, I still got my Christian card, and I always have that. So that's, you know, but I'm not sure I've seen Bamboozle, so I'll put that out there. So I'd love for you to talk about that if you have anything.
Man, okay, so I don't think a lot of people have really seen Bamboozle like that. Like if you were born anywhere maybe after the 90s, you probably haven't. I know you were born in the 90s, but you're an exception. You're from, what is it?
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Ingleside, Texas.
Ingleside. I don't like your tone.
You need to like it, man. You need to like it. You told me to go there, but I had the opportunity to go there. I went to go there, and yeah.
It told you a lot about me, right?
Yeah, it says a lot about him.
Yeah.
This is the way he is. This is the way he is. It's because of Ingleside, Texas. Look it up if you can find it. But,
yeah. Okay. Moving
I got
on.
nothing against Ingleside. I got nothing against Ingleside. But as far as your question, man, that Bamboozle stuff, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen Bamboozle in a while. That was kind of back when I was very so into like just learning a whole bunch of stuff about Black history, the good, the bad, the ugly, and all that other kind of stuff. So at that moment, I would have to say I haven't seen Bamboozled in maybe over a decade, dude. Like I probably watched like bits and pieces of it another time, but I just haven't watched it in full. Not because I didn't want to or anything like that. Just it's not the first thing that comes on the top of my mind when I watch Spike Lee movies. Like other than Malcolm X, like if I watch his other stuff, like I love his stuff, but it's something that I may not watch again because it's heavy. But if I'm around more people or they haven't seen it or it comes on and I'm like, oh, I'm engaged, like I got nothing else I'm doing, like I'll sit up there and watch it. They're not bad movies. I love Spike Lee movies. But I can say that I wouldn't be surprised if they did reference anything in Bamboozle because I mean it's a minstrel show. Everything about that movie was pretty much about minstrel shows. But in this thing, man, I'm like, I love the satire, I love the boldness and taking it that far. And just look at them on the album. Smiling.
I love it.
It's just like, oh man, like, hey, we're about to take you somewhere with that.
Oh yeah.
But no, man, it's I like that stuff, man. I like being bold in that way and talking about things or putting things out in light that some people may not even know about. So there's other races that have never seen people do blackface before or never considered how blackface affects us as a people.
I would love if you could, man, break down some of like how you think about, well, I guess maybe a definition, or it don't have to be, super on point. I just mean how you think about minstrel shows and blackface. Like, what does that even mean? Like, if I don't know anything about that, like, how would you explain that to somebody? Like, what that was, and in a short way.
So let's put it this way, and I might get some flack for this. Okay. So, have you seen that movie Last Samurai or The Last Samurai? I think it has Tom
I don't remember it, but yeah,
I think it has Tom Cruise in it. So, if you're an Asian person and all of a sudden you see this thing, hold on,
man, I didn't know where you was going.
I'm talking about Chinese, Japanese, more so Japanese. Where you were going. The Last Samurai. So this is based in Japan. I'm not trying to generalize all Asia because Asia got wrestling and all this other kind of stuff too. But like, imagine that. I'm like, oh man, it's the Last Samurai, but it's a white guy that shows up. Saves the day. Like, so imagine somebody impersonating, or for my nerds, let me put it this way: if you've seen this movie that should never be mentioned, I'm gonna probably get flack for it just by mentioning it, but it's called Dragon Ball Evolution. And you take an Asian anime character, and everything is based in Japanese, but then they replace the characters with nothing but like a white cast almost. Cultural appropriation. It's so think of blackface like that. You had white people not even just mimicking us, but showing the most worst side of us, like making it look like we're dumb, making it look like we're ignorant, making it look like we don't have any kind of sense, and we just dance all day. It was like, nah, man. Yeah. It was a poor representation of Black people, to get Black personalities in a movie or whatever, or just to poke fun. There's some that literally just poke fun of it purposely. But yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. If for those that are not familiar with that,
and like the audience of a minstrel show, like if you were going to go see a minstrel show, who's in that audience?
Come on now, do I really got to answer that question? That's irrelevant.
Hey man, I'm trying to help us out, man. I'm just trying to help us out. There's some other people from Ingleside, you know, or whatever other city. You know, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
No, there would predominantly be white people, of course. Yeah. 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 Back then, yeah, it was for the entertainment. I don't think we could afford to go to the movies. I don't even think we wanted to see the movies back then anyway. If it put us out there like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah. But I like them because little brother, they just, hey, we talking about it. I was like, these things, like the moment I even heard of it, my friend introduced me because like this was like the first album I actually like heard from little brother, period. Before like I think they had an album called The Listening, but I only heard like a few tracks from it. And so I heard them like on different like underground tip, because I was on a whole bunch of underground stuff back then, you know, early college, late college, and all that stuff. And even high school underground stuff. But it wasn't to a level to where like I had access to get it at the time, because we didn't have streaming and stuff back then. We had Napster, we had Audio Galaxy, where you can go and download these things for free. But yeah, it wasn't as accessible, I guess you could say, as it is these days.
So just to be clear, you heard some of the rumblings a little bit, like so for me, kind of like what you said about their first, or not the first album, I guess, second or first, whatever it's called, first commercial album, or however you want to label it. But like that was for me, I didn't know they existed, you know. So somebody put me on or whatever. I can't remember if somebody put me on or I went like searching and found them. But I guess I'm wondering, it sounds like you, so I imagine you were on like OK Player or whatever, like back in the day. You know, I imagine, and I'm imagining there being some rumblings of like this little brother group. So I want to say they were on that site back then. I heard Fonte say something about that one time. I can't remember what he said exactly, but anyway, you heard them from The Listening first, but like didn't really, Yeah,
I heard them from
like, what happened with
first. That? It was more so because, you know, we're both producers, so like we'll know producer names and stuff like that before I even know the artist name sometimes. So like originally, I think they were associated. They had done some stuff with the Justice League back then. So I want to say it was The Listening album. Don't quote me on that. But the Justice League, I was like fond of them then, and I'm like, oh man, I heard this one track, and it was like, oh man, this is a pretty dope. I'm forgetting the name of the song. It'll probably come back to me later. But like, oh okay, these guys are all right, but the beat is fire, and that's what I cared about. And I'm like, these guys, you know, they did well on the track too, but I didn't know exactly who they were, didn't recognize them until my friend was like, hey, this album came out, the Minstrel Show, and I'm like, Minstrel Show? Like, we just got to watching Dave Chappelle and you know, listen to Boondocks and all this other kind of stuff happening. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna go check this out, see what these people are on. And then heard it. And then when I found out Ninth Wonder was on it, I was like, next to Jay Dilla at the time, for me, I was like, Ninth Wonder is like pretty much on that same level to me. So I was just like, okay.
Oh man, you might have just cracked the code, man. I think I want to say that's how I got onto them. Because so I'm not sure if I mentioned it to the audience out there, but I am a producer too, and my weapon of choice, one of them, is FL Studio. And back in the day, it was called Fruity Loops. And back in the day, before the Johnny Giulianos of the world and everyone else that started using it, you know, it was frowned upon if you use that to make professional music. And so I remember getting buying the FL Studio Bible, which was basically just a nice looking manual, like a physical, you know, but it was nice. They came out with that, and I remember they had this producer section in the back, just kind of sharing with you like who are some heavy hitters, like some power users that use our program that are relatively famous. And I remember reading all of them, and they were like all EDM people or whatever we were calling it back then. We weren't calling it EDM, but whatever. And then it got down to the list, and like I saw Ninth Wonder's face and name on there. I'm like, who's that? Because it mentioned whoever he produced for, and I remember it saying like, somebody and Lil Brother. And I was like, Lil Brother, like that sounded intriguing to me, like just that name. I'm like, that's a cool name. And so I think that's how I like found them, and they had they didn't just come out with it. They came out in a couple years, because I found them in like maybe 08, 09, somewhere in there. So this album came out 4 years
it was like,
before that or so.
Like
05?
Yeah, I think it was 05.
Right. So I'm just saying, I think you cracked the code. I think that's what happened. I just got that memory. I'm like, that makes sense.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I didn't really hear about the album until around 07. I want to say 07, 08, around the same time.
That's interesting.
That's
interesting. So you never saw a music video? Like, you didn't see that when they came out?
I would say even to this day, I can't recall seeing one Little Brother music video. Not one. I couldn't tell you.
Sorry.
Hold on. Did your sound go out?
My phone is tripping.
Okay. All right. Got you.
Yeah. My bad. I thought it was all right. Thought it was off.
You just wanted to put your face in the camera. It's okay though.
Yeah. What is this? Man, I was gonna say something.
You were talking about
shoot,
like hearing them in right?
The music video. That's what we were talking about.
The music videos. That's right. The music videos. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw one way after the fact. So maybe around that same year, but I think it was for Lovin It, that song. But I remember there was so much controversy. Like, I remember BET, like them saying BET didn't want to show their videos and different things like that. And so I never really went searching for their video. I didn't think they had one out. So, like you say, even to this day, I'm like, I can't really remember the video all that much. And actually, so maybe we'll talk about it now. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about it now. I thought it was pretty brilliant. So there's this line in, what's the song Joe Scudder's on? I can't remember what song. You may have it in front of you.
Yeah, let me check it out. I'm trying to remember the name of it. What was the line though?
Well, it wasn't even a line. I'm sorry. It was like an introduction for Joe Scudder, and he says, "Now performing in blackface, my N-word Joe Scudder." This entire time, all these years, I'm thinking that's a black dude. So I'm just thinking, but then I seen the video just yesterday. I was like, oh, it's a white dude?
What? Are you serious?
And that just so I said, so he introduced him and said, "Now performing in blackface, my N-word Joe Scudder." I was like, that's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
I wasn't aware of that, bro. I did not know that.
That's crazy to me. Because I felt like it was intentional, even the N-word, that was intentional. That's something you would normally say to introduce somebody, but him being white changes that whole dynamic.
That just blew my mind. I'm glad I didn't look at any videos and nothing like that because I'm like, that's that's bold to me. Y'all took
that's out there. I was like, what?
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what song that was on, but we'll probably come across it. But
well, yeah, we will, because I hate his verse. So we will. I hate his verse so much with a passion. So yeah. So we'll get to that. We can get to the music now if you want.
Yeah. This was all still related to music. This is a little bit of history of what we felt about Little Brother, of course. We get into the album. We get into the album.
Yeah.
But, the intro song was good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it because it just let me know what kind of world I was about to enter in.
Yeah, for real.
I'm about to see some coonery, basically. That's what I'm about to see. But yeah, man, what'd you think about the introduction and the first few tracks?
I thought the introduction was just fun. For me, it was just fun. I kind of saw, I guess I'm thinking of the Supremes or somebody like that. I saw them kind of at the microphone.
Yes.
You know, I just see that.
Show? Like doing all
I
that
just see
stuff.
like this kind of whatever that is. Like I like it. I was like, it's cool. I didn't I didn't have the language of. That's an interesting thing too. Like I didn't have the language of like coonery and things like that. I didn't. I just thought, man, this is fun and funny, and like there's something underneath there that I'm not really like I get, but I don't get. Like I don't have a reference for necessarily.
Yeah.
Like if that makes sense. Like I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
No, it makes perfect sense. English
okay,
style.
like so. Sure, yes. So it's like I knew they were playing around with something, but like not sure exactly. Like I couldn't pinpoint it if somebody asked me. So anyway, I just remember liking that. And then what's the first joint on there? Is it the morning one?
I think it's Beautiful Morning, I think.
Man, you got the little book.
I know. I'm trying to guess it without having to look at it.
Oh, you want to be a
Beautiful Morning. Beautiful Morning.
A purist.
I'm trying to, exactly. I'm trying to be a hip hop purist. Even though I don't have every single lyric memorized in this thing, like a real one would. But hey, that's I love it still. But yeah, Beautiful Morning. That's the second track.
Beautiful Morning. Yeah, man, they all running together now. I might have to play it for myself. I'm like, sheesh.
Yeah, I got my Bluetooth in my ear just in case I need to play something I need to remember.
Just in case.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, let me. You go ahead and talk, and I'll look it up real quick.
Whatever. Nah, but even in a Beautiful Morning, man, like it comes off like, because I think we had talked about this a long time ago, but you know how you can either come like super hard, like it'll be like a rough track, maybe fast paced, and you just kind of really super going in or whatever like that.
Yes.
Like some rap albums do, or you can have an intro thing that's just straight up chill and like, oh, okay, this is smooth. Like this is a cool little introduction or whatever like that. And they kind of went that route. I think when we had talked about it before, it kind of related more so to when you listen to Kanye West's album, when he did his intro.
Graduation, I think.
It's on Graduation, and I'll even say on his college.
College Dropout.
College Dropout.
Yeah, and good point.
And it started out
and just to get back your money.
And then you had the people in the background.
Yeah.
Like it was just so pleasant. And it's like, what is pleasant?
I've never heard an intro song referred to as pleasant.
Yeah. And he was like, and the first thing he said was drug dealing. So it was like,
yeah.
How do you put those two together? But
yeah,
it worked out perfectly because it's like, okay, like this is kind of, I'm not gonna say it's exactly the same, but it kind of reminded me of that. Like immediately when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is making me warm and fuzzy inside, but I know this is about to get super funny later on or whatever. I thought it was a smooth intro when they brought it in just that kind of way, because it's like, oh, I'm about to laugh and just enjoy this right now.
Man.
Did you get yourself straight?
Do you have the ability to play it like for me too, or no, right?
Do I have the ability to play it? I don't know how it's gonna sound on this thing. Like I can actually, let me see.
Because my situation, it's raining right now, kind of hard.
It's raining?
So that might be affecting what's going on with me. Yeah.
Okay, got you. You know what? The same thing's happening over here, man. Like I've lost.
Okay.
Because we have a storm happening over here. Stuff is like freezing over again in Texas.
Dang.
I don't think it's as strong as it was last year, but hey, it's all good because I just had some kind of error thing show up on my phone when I pulled up my Spotify. But I don't even know if I can really play it either right now because, like, if we put this out there, don't copyright us, little brother. Like,
that's don't do that. We love you.
Yeah, so if I play it, we'll have to cut it out, and I have to edit that real quick.
I feel that. Am I still on the screen?
No, you're not.
Okay, give me
I
1
just
second.
See you and your kids. But yeah, anyway. But Beautiful Morning, man, like it just came in good, man. And then like I kind of like the way they transition into the third track 3, where it looked like I think it was Fonte that was rapping, and he kind of messed up, and he was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna do that again. And then it goes into a different beat, and then he just jumps in back where he left off from that last verse. I want to say what he say. Told ninjas from the get up, we 3 the hard way, and Broadway's the only place you'll ever throw a setup. Speechless is all you'd be if you ever met up. I survived far too much now to ever let up. Mother, and I can't say that.
I can't say that.
But nah, matter of fact, I think they cut it off. They cut it off on here, but he does start out like at the end of it. At the end of that verse, he says, I went from ninjas telling me I really shouldn't rhyme to dropping a classic album MFers couldn't find. And I remember he said it on the second track, and then he's like, wait, I'm gonna start up. And then I'm gonna start over. And then it went right back into it, like right there, and he started in. I'm like, oh, this is a cool transition to it, because I was thinking like, oh, if this is a sketch show in some kind of way,
right?
Like, if you mess up the line, or because it's live technically, and you go back in and fix it or whatever like that. So I kind of like that. I don't know if that was their intention, but I like that transition because I was like, oh, this is feeling like I'm watching a live show right now.
Well, yeah, I think that was their intention because there are a lot of elements like that on the album. Like if you play a song just by itself, like a single track, like you'll hear that talking in the beginning, you know, from a previous track. But it always feels right, even if you just play one, like the one song alone, like standalone.
Yeah,
it still feels right. Like you don't feel like it's from somewhere else. But if you play the album in order, like it's just cohesive and yeah, it's cool. It just does. It feels like one big show.
Yeah, bro.
It's supposed to. So that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Like all the intros and whatnot. Like it sounds like they're on stage and you know actually doing it live in front of you, which is cool. But yeah, that. So I think I do want to say too. We may have to talk about a little bit about placement. Like song placement, as we love to talk about. Because
get into it. This is what I love about albums when they do this. But go ahead. This is
so we haven't talked about this, so I guess we don't know what each other's gonna say. But that one, what is it? The Becoming? That's the one we're on right now. The title.
The Becoming.
I forget the title. So like even that, I'm gonna get musical a little bit. You know, I can't help it. But the that's so like that's so first, second track like for this type of group. Like it's not for like maybe some mainstream kind of artist. They're gonna try to hit you heavy like or with a single or something like that. But that just groove like that. Like that's so like look, let me tell you what we getting into. Like let me just kind of break this down a little bit. It's perfect. Like it's perfect. That type of beat is so chill and perfect for like that slot. Like number 3 or whatever.
It's number 3. Yep.
It's so great because you can go up from there. You know what I mean?
And that's all it builds off to me, man. Like it's I all I gotta say is I love that. I just love the way it did that. You know, and you know what? Like even when you just did the beat right now, it brought me back to like, hey, yo, this is hip hop. Like
that's. Yes.
And I say that because like I used to play this game and I still would play it to this day if I could pull it back out. It was on PlayStation 2 and I'm pretty sure you recognize it. But it was Def Jam Vendetta.
Home back. Yeah. Crooked letter I, hump back I, make them all die.
They were better than somebody else. But but like it brought me there, and I imagine myself like if you ever play that game and you're like in the transition stuff, like you're jumping from the next stage or trying to buy your clothes for the character and all that stuff. Like the music that plays in between there, like I could hear that playing, and I was like, it's kind of chilled. Like okay, I can nod my head as I'm just doing what's considered like the boring parts of of a video game,
exactly
trying to like customize things and figure out some things, read stories, read the text messages in the thing or whatever they were doing. Like
that's it.
It just felt like it belonged, and it kept me in that element right there. And I'm like, I gotta appreciate that, because even though I would consider this to be like their mainstream album. I think maybe they consider the listening one before, but this one here, because it got pushed so much and so many, like I really believe they got a lot more famous from this one.
Well, yeah, and they got, this was Atlantic Records also, and their whatever the other label was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the other label, unfortunately.
I think ABB Records or something like that.
Don't quote me.
Anyway,
I'll take your word.
I'm just saying.
You got facts.
Yeah.
You got the facts. No, but like that, with that being a mainstream, and it kind of kept me to them, because it was like, usually when you go mainstream, like you might do something like Drake and straight up go Young Money style, like whatever is in there, whatever, not back to where you're like in your mixtape roots. And this kind of kept me there, like with their mixtapes or even their previous album kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, y'all are still like conscious rappers basically. And I can hear it throughout this beat right here. And y'all are keeping this consistent in the first 3 tracks. Like you said earlier, they're not trying to hit me with like one of the hits right away or whatever. But
yeah, it's just well produced music. And I wanted to speak to a little bit about what you were saying about the songs, like while you're trying to pick a character on a game. So just again, I'm gonna be nerdy again, musically nerdy, but just it's for a purpose. I'll say that. So I was watching this video one time about Mario game, like Mario game music.
Okay.
And like it struck me. So anyway, long story short, you have to create really great music for those kinds of games because you spend so many hours playing them. So it has to be something that can be looped back around. Like it has to be interesting enough, but like also not too interesting, right? To where you're just kind of paying attention to the music, and then not boring, because then you're like, man, I'm tired of playing this game. This music is
exactly.
I got a headache. It has to be kind of right in there to where it can loop back around. You ain't even paying attention, and you're just playing the game, and it's still doing the same. What is like that kind of music, like
was that Sonic?
You know what I'm saying?
Was that Sonic?
That's that was Sonic.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, nice reference. But you know what I'm saying? You can listen to that all day because it changes,
Yes.
Down. They do the little stuff and then it starts over again. Like
yes, bro.
So to me, but this is like the perfect opportunity for them to kind of, I guess with those classic hip hop albums, a lot of times that first or second one, they want to smack you with lyrics. This is who I am. Not necessarily the beat, the lyrics stuff. This is who I am. And so like Fonte and them like saying the stuff they're saying on this one, I really like. Like, was it, I forgot what he said after you had spit it earlier. Like my life depended on it. I target you, Herbs, on some teleprompter. I got you watching your work. No. What is it? So for instance, Jackson needs like coach, like that whole exchange between them. I mean, is like it's cool.
It's
my
dope.
block. It's where you better be from. Like top of the line, my team will never settle for crumbs. Like that's so hip hop and so like. I don't know.
Ooh, no,
I get it. It's what you want. So it's one of my favorite
absolutely
records.
Right, bro. You're absolutely right, because it's like, we can move on from there. We can move on.
It's just in there, dude. It is what it is.
It's not even. It's technically would be a filler track or whatever, but it's still
right. That's what I was gonna say, son. That could easily go to like number 12 or 13, but since they placed it there, it's a banger.
Yes.
Because otherwise, I probably wouldn't have listened. If it's way down in the back of the album, I wouldn't have listened to it. Not that that doesn't mean it wouldn't have kept me
vibe-wise with everything else that was about to happen afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like an anticipatory track. Like you waiting for the next thing after that.
Yes.
Which is, what's the next thing after that? What is the next
one? What we got here? We have the track Enough.
Oh.
Yeah. Is it enough or not enough? I think it's enough.
Not enough, I think. Right?
Yeah. But I like that one because it kind of keeps, all right, for me, like,
Okay.
the beats were catching me immediately, for one thing. Like, when I first was listening to it, like, Ninth Wonder has this way of, even if nobody was rapping on something, I want to sing the sample. Like, whatever's playing in the back, like, and enough, I think it goes, ooh,
That's
la,
this
la,
one.
la, 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 la. And I'm like, I just want to do it. And I'm like, oh man, I want to sing this. So, and I was doing it like the first time it was playing before I started analyzing the lyrics and, you know, trying to find the stuff I liked and didn't like and all that stuff. Just hearing it through, I was like, I can honestly say, and I'll speak throughout the rest of the album for this, like, Ninth Wonder has that talent to where he finds certain samples and plays that certain hook or certain verses through that sample that is like good enough to make you want to repeat it. I've heard many samples before, and I'm like, okay, that's hot. I'm like, I just like the way it's looped and stuff, but it never made me want to repeat what was happening back there. And that's what made me feel good. And then, like, when they brought in the girls with la 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 la, like, it brought me back to what happened at the beginning of the album, which is when the girls were singing. So I'm like, these girls are still here and they're still a part of the show. So I'm like, dope. And one thing I do want to mention, because now you have me look back down and see the name of this thing. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it, you know how it would say like track 1, track 2, track 3, right? No, they play this like a television program. Like, up in the top, it has, 8 a.m. is the welcome. Then at 8:30, which is track 2, it's Beautiful Morning. And then, like, at 10 o'clock, I was like,
amazing.
That's creative. Amazing. I didn't even see that until now. Like,
amazing.
I'm like, where's track 4? I'm like, 10 a.m. I get it. It's like an all-day event. Let's go.
That's amazing, dude. That's cool. Okay.
These are the elements you miss when you don't get to get a physical album.
Yes. So I'm missing it right now. I want it in front of me. So you were saying, yes, I think it's this track, the that little thing in the beginning. That right there is everything.
Yes.
And then the stutter drums, like, I was gonna break that down a little bit too, because I was like, dude, I missed this where, okay, you know how you doing hi-hats on a song, like on a beat, you putting hi-hats, so you can easily, like a Dirty South track, you can easily just get them hi-hats going. Like, if you got an MPC, you just hold down the button, like, repeat hi-hat. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So here he has, like, it's like, boom, 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 boom. Like, that's the boom, the boom, 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 boom. That's how the kick is going. And so the hi-hats kind of match that.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom.
So you described that as what is that called? A stutter drum, you said?
To me, I call it like a stutter, like a pattern, like a stuttering, a stutter pattern, just because it sounds like, normally I'm thinking if you're doing a regular hip hop beat or something, you just kind of keep your kicks in the same, but he's almost like stopping. It feels like a stop. Like that beat to me breathes so much. Like, literally he has like the sample of breathing on there too. Like, it's just, it moves so much. Because it has a no, wang. But it's like, it's like stuttering to me in my mind. Because the hi-hats are not like, they don't do that. They go with the kick. They kind of come in and come out, and come in and come out, and it's just.
And that's so dope to catch, even from like a sample, dude. Like that, you got to add some element to that when that stuff happens. Because a sample can get boring if you don't have take the right thing, or if you pick like a very popular song to use it from, and it's where the birthplace of hip hop is samples. But it's like, like, to add just certain musical elements like that, like, see, I didn't even know that was called like a stutter thing, or that's what you call it, but I like that. I like that. Like, now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I can catch that too now. Like, that's when you have elements like that make you want to go back and listen to it again. It's like, okay, you're moving up the classic tier right now. You're moving up there.
And can we talk about, well, first of all, verses on here are awesome to me. But can we talk about what's the name? Darian Brockington. I think that's his name. I'm just going off the top of my head.
Yeah, it is. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Darian Brockington. Mm-hmm.
So his singing on here is like so right. It seems like whatever I do. It's so John Legend-y to me. But like it feels like all of them together, like Little Brother, like including Ninth and then him, is just like y'all could just do that forever. Like, I don't care.
Like just honestly, when I heard it, I was like, he sounded so like he was so supposed to be with him. I was like, y'all are y'all like a group? Is Little Brother like more people?
All of y'all,
like this is Night Wonder, Don Braxton, and I think they even featured Jazzy Jeff on one of the tracks, and I was like,
oh yeah. It
sounds like everybody has grown up together, like doing this album. Like
man,
feel that closeness. It feels like
it feels right.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that concept though? Too, like just the not enough concept. Like, he says at the end of one of the verses, "Dope beats, dope rhymes. What more do y'all want? Shout it out." And then it goes into the chorus. Like, what do you think about? I just remember feeling some of that, not in the way that they felt it, because they were like way past me as far as success and whatnot. But like, how do you? I feel like you could speak to that song a little bit.
So this, I'll kind of speak a little bit about the album in general when it comes to that stuff, because some of this, I feel Little Brother was a little personal with that stuff. Like I think it's in one of the tracks. I'm gonna probably remember it as we go through. But like they had and it might have been an interlude that it kind of mixed into.
Oh, I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Where they were like,
you talking about one of the members?
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. I'm gonna jump into that.
Okay.
But no, that, and then like I think it was Ponte was saying was like, hey, like, people trying to get us on, like before they weren't even messing with us. Like, you go to your hometown, North Carolina, but now that you hit, and they be like, oh man, we love you guys. And he's like, get out of here.
It's one of my favorite things he says.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that word, but man,
I know
the way he says the word is so funny.
But it was just like even if you listen to most of the other tracks like after that and stuff like that, like they kind of hint. I mean, they kind of say it like on the Becoming one. He says it at the end, like they want me to do this, do that, or whatever, like that. Like this was kind of a pent up frustration album. I'm gonna get this out of here. And say that. So I think Little Brother was really expressing themselves when it came to how much they feel unappreciated at the time. And I think that's what Not Enough is basically kind of, describing to me.
It could almost be like another theme song for the album. Like, yes, we have all this Minstrel Show stuff going on and like satirical stuff, but also we're tired of being unappreciated. And we want to make it.
Which goes to mixtape stuff, which kind of still puts them in the element of like that underground where they were coming up at and stuff like that. It's kind of like, you know what? Like that's what most conscious rappers that do mixtapes talk about is, oh man, I feel appreciated. Oh, I'm not gonna be dancing around for no record label for people for money or whatever the case may be. It's a constant trope.
Absolutely.
Like all the time.
Absolutely.
But this way, it kind of put it back into the element of getting back into there. But I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit because there's so many different emotions that are coming up in me, and I'm like, man, I want to talk about this, talk about that. So after this part, between I think is this next one, because it's kind of an interlude, but not an interlude, it's an actual song. Between that one and then going down to I think it's like track 7. Let me see. Yeah, track 7, Slow It Down. This is like my favorite part of the album. Like, all of this together. So if you haven't heard a parody song before, like any other, listen to Cheatin. That is, and this is the blessing of having something like this. Like when I heard Cheatin, like of course it's like an Isley Brothers like reference, like to like R. Kelly, and they do like them story type of things, but they're saying like this is pre-Drake, man, emotional stuff.
right.
So I was like, man, I caught you cheating, but it's so funny. Excuse me, because like when I picture the guy like having like nice hair and stuff like that, like when he's singing it or whatever like that. No, this is who they're impersonating, Percy Miracles. Like I did not see this guy. And I didn't pay attention to it until I went and looked at this thing again once we were, reviewing the album, like listening to it and stuff. And I looked at the back and like, this is who they got imagining singing this song. And I'm like, this makes it even more funny. Like, it was like, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted you to be my wife. When I said 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really wanted you to be my friend. And then I said 11, 12,
13, 14, 15.
Really
can't think of nothing that rhymes with 15.
The background thing is just messed up. Well, Percy, I don't give a damn. Tell me what's in it. Now we're going to the Minstrel Show.
He said, so I always want to give a
at this very moment, bro. At this moment, I was done with this album. I was like, oh yeah, you gotta keep it going.
So man. I want to say, because you told people to go listen to that, I almost want to give a disclaimer. You may want to go listen to some like Weird Al Yankovic, which he's awesome.
Yes,
he is awesome. But like, you may want to listen to him and then come back and listen to this, because it will mess you up if this is your first parody song you've ever heard, and you know who R. Kelly and Isley Brothers are and all that. It's so funny, like because it's almost serious. Like you almost believe that it's like this is a real song.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
they gave it that much time. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I even love the melody. Like he caught some of the melodic stuff that like they do. Like after all these years, you know, like it's all the same note. And he's like all that is like fantastic.
It's classic. Even the back and forth between, like, for a second, and this might be true. I haven't even checked it because I just laugh because it's so funny. Like, is that really Ron Isley in the back singing this?
Right.
I really want to know. Like, I didn't even bother to look it up because I didn't even think they would have this thing. Because I just found this thing today, and I was like, oh, I should have looked at this.
Yeah. Well, like, I just want to be clear. Like, you know that's Fonte, right?
Yeah, I know it's Fonte.
You're talking on the background.
Yeah, I know it's Fonte in the background, but when he was kind of doing the dual personality.
Oh, the back and forth? Yeah.
The way his cadence was with Ron Isley, I was like, because know that's who he was personating.
Oh, yeah.
But it was so on point. Like, it felt like there was two different people there singing, basically.
For sure, dude.
I was just like, perfect comedic perfection when it came to introducing that song, and it kind of reminded me of like this album's like, even though these are conscious rappers and some of this other stuff that they talked about in these last 3 tracks, it's conscious stuff. Like they're gonna sprinkle some ignorance in there just to let you know we still talking about some stuff. Like, yeah.
So yeah, what do you think about the placement of that? Like it seems like, I guess I can see somebody saying that shouldn't be track number 5, like an actual song, but it's a parody. Like that doesn't fit because it's not a skit. It's a real song.
Yeah, it's a real song. So, and the thing is, like,
is that a fail or is that a success?
It's it's not supposed to be there because it doesn't go with anything else that like you don't hear that type of singing throughout the rest of the album. But but because it comes in where it comes in, it breaks almost the monotony that could be caused by what we've heard in the last 3 songs. Because they kind of transition pretty well through those things, but and not to say that any of the beats sounded the same, that's not it. But it was like, okay, if the next thing goes into like this, it's gonna kind of sound almost like a mixtape, or we're about to stay on a conscious tip for a lot. So it kind of breaks that up and it like kind of takes you out of it because like you're not lulled out to where like if you had to listen to this from start to finish with no interruptions, like you won't get lulled out for a minute. Like, do I want to skip this next song because it might almost sound the same as something I heard before? But it's like, no, we're taking you completely left. We're still in the element because we're talking about the Minstrel Show and this whole show of ignorance or whatever like that. And it just brings it back for me. And it's like, okay, I'm laughing. I'm re-energized now. I want to hear what happened next. And what happens next, I'm loving it.
Okay.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
That's what it's called, right? Can't stop, won't stop. Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the. Yeah.
Is it that one?
Is it how's the beat go?
Hold on.
Is that the one like when it's good?
No. It doesn't go. It doesn't go straight to that one. It doesn't go straight to that. I apologize.
Okay.
It doesn't go straight to that one. It goes to the hiding place. Like where you gonna hide?
Oh man. Okay. So this is. We may have to break down some lyrics on this one. You got the book there. So
let's see.
Okay. So I'm gonna start. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna just start by saying something about it. Okay. So around this time, again, I'm in Alabama and I'm with my dad. My dad's showing me new music I ain't never heard. And I say new, a lot of classics I haven't heard. So he's putting me on to Illmatic and Stillmatic at the time and like Slum Village and just random, like all like hip hop everywhere. Just random stuff. Not all conscious, like just random stuff. And at the time I was listening to a lot of Detroit people. And so Black Milk was this producer that I really liked just because his snares are way too loud. Like way too loud. I'm like, why?
Like hit the very high end that you can of a snare.
Oh, I mean, it was rough. Like I'm like, dude, okay, but it made me like it because he was just like, yeah, I'm doing that. Like that's my thing. Like, and his sample game was just so on point. And anyway, long story short, I kind of got into like Slum Village like through that. I guess through Black Milk. Because he was the Detroit producer, and then Elzai, like I guess became. You correct me if I'm wrong. I think he became like a new member of Slum. Like later on, he wasn't. Initially.
Yeah, he wasn't there immediately. I don't think.
Right, and so, but then I checked out Elzai. Elzai had came out with the. I would say the preface. He calls it the preface. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. But he says the preface. That's his like album that he came out with, and oh my gosh, like one of my favorite. It's not a classic, but like some of the songs on there are classic. He can just rap, and so anyway, around this time, I knew who he was already, and like hearing him on this and Fonte, like him and Fonte go back and forth was just like,
beastly.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. Like, don't compare me to jokes. I strangle the air in your throat. Mid-air from a rope. Like, that whole thing. Like, dude. Oh.
Yeah, he said, don't compare me to jokes. I strangle the air in your throat like you jumped from a chair and choked. Dang.
Yeah, like, and we should say, yes, this is very graphic. We're not necessarily saying
I'm like, come on, the lyrics. Metaphors and similes, it's all right. Just
come on.
You gotta take stuff to the extreme so you can get the picture of how good this is.
Yeah. So just that whole thing, man, against that beat. Oh man, it's
Elzai took that one for me, man. Like he went in and it kind of changed up the element and stuff like that of doing that, man. Like, yeah. And then just hearing, where you gonna hide? And that's what I was talking about when it came to the cheating song, whatever like that. And then it goes right back into this. Now, had this song played right after, what was the last one? The fourth one.
Wouldn't have been as
not
good.
Enough. If it played right after Not Enough, I think it would still have been fire, but it like I said, if I'm listening to this from like start to finish and there's nothing else around, like I'm in my room right now and just got my headphones and I just want to listen, I think I probably would have zoned out a little bit at some point. Not that the fact that the track wasn't good, but because.
But compared to what's happening, vibe wise,
yeah, exactly.
Yep. And like you're saying,
I don't hate the song at all.
Yeah, because those are so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cheating to that is like night and day. Like complete opposite type of beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can we talk about the drums on there?
Go
Do
for
you remember them?
Go for it, bro.
I mean, I just wanted to say they're excellent. I mean, I don't have a lot to say. I'm just saying, like, that bass when it comes, boom, 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 and then I can't even do that. The hi-hat game on there, I can't even like mimic it with my mouth. Man, where you gonna hide? And then this is one of the ones we can mention. Ninth Wonder's breath game on that. Where you gonna hide? Where you got the breath in there? I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
But that's one of those things, like, because normally as mixers and producers, like, people are like, okay, I want you to get all the tongue sounds. Like, I don't want to hear any like moisture in your mouth.
I need that out of there.
The breath. Like, I'm like, to me, like when I made an album with Vocab, shout out to Vocab too. Like when we did stuff like that, like where we just left those breaths in there, like harmonized without really fading it out. Like when I was stacking her vocals, like I didn't fade them all out at the same time. I just let it go however she went, and it sounded more organic. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I get the reason why you want to do it, because sometimes for some people, sound engineers' ears, it's sensitive. It's like you got to remember who you're making this for too. It's like, dude, it's fine. Leave the breath in there, dude. Like it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah,
me.
And I think he liked it too, because like the end, he lets the beat play a little bit, and it just, that thing is, man, it feels so good, because it's like do 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 do. That's so fire. Like it's so good.
Bro.
Like it's good. It's good, man.
I love it. Yeah, there's not much we can say about that one.
Oh no, that's a contender for like one of my favorite songs on there. So I'll just say that now.
Yeah,
it's up there for me.
Nah,
so.
I can take that. It's not all the way up there for me, but
yeah,
like, I really enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it though. Like
yeah.
All right, so after that one, they have, what was it? Say It Again, and I just. I'm trying to be quick with this stuff too, because I know we could go forever or whatever like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like it's such like it sounds like something that could have been sampled like off of Disney or something like that, just with the whistle. I can't whistle it, but it's like but imagine somebody whistling and then you hear the guy in the background.
Oh man! Oh, I never took that to Disney. I never thought about Disney with that.
Because I'm thinking of like the whistling and stuff like that. I'm like, did you take that whistle from like a Disney thing and then mix it into another?
Yeah.
I don't know where he got it from.
What is good?
What is good? Yes. What is good?
Hey, the drums on there too. Oh my gosh. Doom, 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 doom.
Bro.
Okay, man. I'm gonna hold back. I got a lot of musical things to say. I'm gonna hold back.
You gonna hold back? Hold back. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hold back.
Because we're not even halfway through it yet.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold back. I got a lot.
I'll hold back. Because some of the stuff, like, y'all just got to go out there and listen to it. Like,
oh yeah.
Especially if you're into samples and stuff. And then in this one, they kind of reintroduced like the host of the Minstrel Show. So he's kind of there, like, yeah, this is Percy and something. Like, he don't really say it like that. But like, he's kind of in there. So I was like, okay, this is still the show, man. The coonery is going to continue within this stuff, man. And that's one thing I can mention just throughout the whole album. I would have to say for me, as far as interludes go, this is one of the best albums that has the best interludes to me.
Oh,
I'll put it up there. And nobody talks about this sometimes. Like, sometimes interludes can just be like, okay, this is just something talking about the transition to something else, or you had nothing else to do with you and your crew thought it was funny, like while y'all were in the studio. But I'm like, that doesn't translate outside, bro. Yeah. Like, keep your inside jokes inside. That did not need to be on the album. But everything that was happening in these interludes needed to be on the album. And it just brought me more into it and anticipating the songs. And I think that's when I got excited because, like, after Cheatin, because I still consider Cheatin an interlude, but because of that, nothing really. Well, it does, but it doesn't. But it was like I got excited because I'm like, man, these type of interludes are just dope to me. And I'm like, it's gonna keep me entertained. Like, anytime that it comes into play, like, I can let it play through. And I'll be entertained, even if I don't laugh at it because I know it word for word and stuff like that. Like, I want to say it still because I'm like, this is just a dope transition in the story or whatever like that.
Well, yeah, it's just part of it. Like, you just take it with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all. Like, it's almost the equivalent of, like, since we're talking about shows, like back in the day when we didn't have streaming and all that, and like, you know, you watching the show and then you run real quick when the commercial comes on and you come back. That whole thing, but like this is like you want to stay and watch the commercial because it's like it's great. Like you just you don't even get up. You like I'm not gonna go get my drink. I'm good because this is great. This is kind of what it is.
Thank you. It's like a commercial. I love that. Yeah. That's exactly what that feels. I'm glad you brought that in there. So that does tie into more of the.
Well, because I'm thinking of fits and fashion. Like especially like I listen to that song by itself. Like I listen to that by itself. Like as a song.
Okay, out of all the interludes, the Percy stuff was gold, but this one, like, there's one more interlude I do like that comes later, just because I'm a dad now and I understand what the guy was talking about. But like this one right here, if I had to say I had a favorite track on this whole album, well, there's two of them that I can say that are at the top. Fits and Fashion is one for me, even though it's maybe like a minute long. It's literally just a skit, but just the whole thing there, like the way.
There's a lot there though, Si. Like there's a lot there in that short moment. You know, there's a lot there.
I really just want to act it out right now. That's how bad. That's how much I love this thing. Just the element of when the girl and the guy come in there and they're just talking about. He's like, "What's going on, baby?" She goes, "Hey." He's like, "Man,"
and like catching like some of the stuff, like the script is so great to me because you have to pay attention to what they're saying to like catch how good the stuff is. Because like you know, if you know what Manolo Hills are and they say Monono, you know, it's just like
Monono Hills.
Right on, my Monono Hills. You know, like it's like. It's just funny. Like, the EBT we got, you say you can come get a kid down here?
No, he's like,
that.
Like EBT, what you say? You got baby mama thing, we can get you a kid down here. Oh, you know, he said, if you can handle your child support, we can get you a kid down here.
Yeah, like, what? And, like, how excited he was about it, like, about the whole, like, it's amazing, man.
Like, one of the best commercials, like, ever made. And I consider it a song because, like, ooh, at Fit and Fashion, better call your name. No,
we'll get you right at Fit and Fashion.
I'm so glad you know the contenders in there that just went down.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. Because you think it's going up, and then it's like...
And they still got that man in the background, like it's slightly, if you can really hear, it's like, oh, come on down.
That was my favorite part, probably of the whole thing.
It's so subtle, right?
Like, wait, what? It's so random, but it's like fits so perfectly.
It's subtle, but it's the right amount of subtleness where it's like you want to go back.
Great.
Like, but did they say anything else in this background that I missed because I'm singing the song? Like,
I mean, I'm still to this day like finding like little bits of stuff that I like. And I'm like, dang, I did not notice that before. Man, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. And then I mean, it's great. So I found out today that how do you pronounce his name? Nicolay. Is that how you pronounce it? So he produced that one. I never really looked it up and thought about it, but so everything else, I think Ninth Wonder did. Crisis did one, the one where he says it on the intro.
They don't give him
I go by the name of
that one in here. I'm sorry. That's why I was like, that's why I didn't know. They didn't give him producers credit.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You talk about because he produced Fit and Fashion, right? You said.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they didn't give me any credit on there for
that
it.
explains a lot to me though. Like the whole, it's just so sweet and like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Not that Knife couldn't do that. Not that he couldn't. I'm just saying I felt like he would have had to sample that to get it to sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that because Nicolay, like, he plays keys and stuff, so like it makes more sense to me. Anyway, I just wanted to say that like that's a special track in my heart. It's so fun.
It holds a special place for me too, man. Like there's nothing like Thick and Passion. I know I probably wouldn't buy anything there if this was a real place, but I want to walk in there so I could just see the ignorance.
yeah. So I can see it.
I got a stain on my left A Force One. Like I want to hear somebody go in there and just do that, bro. Like, yeah.
Weren't they selling like one of the shoes? Like, didn't you say something like that? Like, you can buy left A1s or something like that?
Yes,
like,
just the left A1. Just the left one.
I love that.
What?
I love that so much.
Oh my God.
You're carrying random like left A1s in different sizes. Like, it's just like, what? Like, that doesn't, like, what is that?
And the we're talking about a lot of it, but it's like there's still small little things in there you need to catch. Like, it's just
absolutely.
Go listen to it. It is just hilarious.
Listen to it like on repeat. Listen to it on repeat like 5 times in a row. Like,
it takes time. Get some people around and just act it out or something like that. It's a hilarious thing, man. But
man.
Yeah. So then it goes into my next track, and this is my number 1 track throughout the whole album.
Okay.
Lovin' It.
Okay.
Yes. And one of the things I think, because like I just love the chorus when it comes into it. And of course the sample is hard. Like we can talk about Knife Wonder's drum and
all day.
The parts of the sample mix all day. Like I feel like I said it enough. I'm not even gonna repeat it. Like that's just how the album is. Like you're gonna get it and you're gonna want to see it. But like in the part where it goes, dang, I just want to sing it now. And you told me a lie. I wouldn't lie. You do me. I can see. Like just that in a sample, like he used all of that in a sample. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about the sample. I just had to see it one time. But like even the girls in there was like, can't stop. Yes, I love it. Like I'm over here just doing the P Diddy. Can't stop.
Yeah, you have to.
Can't stop.
There's no other way. There's no other way. You have to do that. But it's up there.
You go in on this one, Kyron, because I love every single thing about this, and if I keep talking about it, like we won't get to the end of this album. I promise you. So I love this song.
So I love this song like up until Joe Scudder, and then I like the skit after. So I kind of get annoyed when
Joe Scudder's verse.
Yes. So I only listen to it. I only let it play for that, you know, because it's one of those verses like I can't stand. Sometimes there's like a good vibe going, and then somebody comes and just kind of like poops on that. And I wasn't sure if like
poops on it. You thought he just pooped on it?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. So, but I wasn't sure if like it was intentional, like the way he was rapping and what he was saying. I wasn't sure if it was like part of satire somehow or something. I just like I don't like it. Like I don't like it. I just don't like it. Like I walk through the world like I know I'm the ish, like holding my private part. I think he says just kind of.
I woke up in the morning holding my going through life like I know I'm the. And y'all ain't effing with me. So why take that heat? We can't take that heat. Man, y'all whole flow weak. We will take that beat. Put our own words on it. We will make that speak.
The only part I like is that. Yeah. That's the only part I like. We will make that speak. That sounds very like Cameron or somebody like that. Like, I don't know. Like it felt battle rapish to me or something. I don't know what. New Yorkers, something in there. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I like that. Like, we will make that speak. Like, I like that.
I'll say this because it kind of, well, I don't know if I should mention it now. I got nothing against it, man. And they mentioned it later, like later in one of the skits that's kind of tied in with one of the songs where they talk about, man, I heard Pooh is like the weakest rapper.
Bro, no, we can't talk about that yet. They called him Big Puff.
They call him Big Puff. Yeah. No. They also said, what is it? Big Couch or something like that. He said Couch. I was like, dang, bro. He's Fonte's cousin or something like that. I was like, what? That was cold-blooded to me, like, because that's how people still see him to this day. And I'm like, who's not a bad dude?
Do you want to talk about that now or not? That's a whole subject.
We can go into it now because it does come. Okay. Well, we'll go back to Lovin It, but you were saying Joe Scudder's thing. We'll go into that.
It's trash to me. It's like it's boo-boo trash. Like, I feel like he shouldn't be on the song, period. But now that's no offense. You know, like, I'm sure he's good or whatever. It's just that particular, yeah. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Just my opinion. I just didn't like it, dude. I just didn't like it. But I was gonna say, this is hard to say. Okay, I did some research today, and I listened to like 3 tracks from Lil Brother's album from 2019. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed by Big Pooh's verse on one of them, and I was like, okay, this guy's been he's been doing it. Like, he's been in the lab, like, he's been practicing, is what I'm saying. Now, on this album, I don't think he's trash in any way. I just think that in some ways Fonte outshines him, because, like, in duos, like, yes, you do have that sort of, you know, like that interplay between them. Like, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? They're different. Yeah. So, like, Outkast or whoever you want to think about.
That's what I was thinking about. Mm-hmm.
But, like, even this is probably unfair, but, like, even with Outkast, I'm loving, like, I want to hear both of them. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like, I can't wait till Andre comes on, or vice versa. I'm like, man, what's Big Boy gonna say? Because, like, he's gonna say it in a certain way, and, like, he's probably gonna be fast with it, you know, and, like, and just real cool and slick. And then Andre's gonna be, like, weird or, like, slow and, like, methodical.
He's gonna do something that's just gonna throw you off, but you're like,
I like man, that, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, but and I won't lie, with this, not with Lil Brother, with this album in particular, I'll say that it feels like, you know, Pooh is, like, there to be filler for me. Only because it almost feels as if he's, like, still trying to find his voice, which he might. Because I think voice-wise,
I think they actually mentioned in one of the songs, he actually admitted himself, he didn't say, like, I'm getting better. No, he did. He said, I'm getting better in one of the verses. He's like, yeah, so is this, but I'm getting better. And I'm like, hey, respect. He knew where he was. And it's
it's great. Like, I have nothing but respect. Like, I don't think he's trash. I have nothing but respect for him. But, like, because even on Hiding Place, I think he didn't even rap on that. You know what I mean? Because it was like he probably couldn't hang. No offense. Again, this is no offense. I think his voice is fantastic. I think his cadences, I think he sounds great. It's just sometimes what he says is just very basic to me. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a lot of internal rhymes and, like, a lot of things happening. Like, it's very accessible raps. Like, I guess that's a good word.
Sometimes you need that, like, when it comes to a duo, because sometimes if especially when it comes to a pill, like if you're constantly speaking, I almost think about it like Jesus in parables, right? Like, Jesus could speak and say all kinds of different languages in any kind of different way he wanted to, or he could have got very biblical and started talking about a whole bunch of different spiritual stuff that these uneducated people of the Bible couldn't do. But that's why he spoke in parables. So, like, let me speak this to something that you're familiar with so you can relate to what I'm saying. Like, if he was speaking to farmers, I'm going to say something relating to, you know, soil, the ground. I'm not going to speak about something scholarly because, like, heck, you don't even know how to read, but you know how to farm. And that's what I feel like Big Pooh kind of comes in there within this album. Like, not so much that, you know, it's going to be standing out, like, as far as, like, oh man, that was a cool punchline he put in there, or he's double speaking with this word, or whatever the case may be. It's just like, nope, straight up facts. I'm gonna say this the way it comes out. It rhymes, and I can do it on the beat, and it still it fits enough in there.
I think that's great. So I just like, for me personally, I think what's the word? And sometimes when I coach people on like rapping, like if we're they're songwriting and you're writing a verse, it's like you could say that what you have written, you could say that, but like how could you make that even better? It don't have to be so incredible, but like sometimes it ends up being like almost cliche or too normal to where like there's no like competitive spirit. Like I feel like rap is almost like, watch me say this in a certain way, like, or like, watch how I'm gonna say this, or I'm gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can say something simple, but it's like how you said it. And I feel like he's like just giving you, like you said, like he's just gonna like give you the little jab, and like Fonte's gonna like do all this other stuff. Like he's gonna like, nope, I'm rapping.
Yeah,
like
it is,
you know,
it's like, you're right, and you're absolutely right about that. It was a training thing for him, and like I said, the fact that he even admitted that he said he's getting better, like within one of his verses, is like he kind of knew where he was, and I respect that.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I'm like, don't diss Pooh. Like he wasn't like, we'll just be honest, he wasn't like the greatest on the thing, but it's almost like though, like when you're in a group, somebody may outshine somebody else. It's like Styles P is a great rapper. Like fantastic rapper, but when you put him next to Jadakiss, like it's like it makes him not look as good as he is. Because I'm like,
I guess I got another thing though. Okay, so I think I was gonna say something the last time. I think he does great with concepts. So if there's a conceptual sort of song, then he's not being cliche because he's talking about something specific. But if it's just a rappy rap song, just kind of where you flex, it's kind of like, okay, like that's cool, but you're not really like Hiding Place, even though I guess it's a concept. If he would have got on there, it wouldn't have been as like, I don't know.
No,
I don't know how to put it.
No,
like, okay,
you're right, because like if you put Elzai and Fonte together on something like that, he'll get lost in the mix easily. When it came to something right there,
because he would have just been rapping, like, and it would have been
and
like,
it wasn't like he wasn't like bad or something like that or whatever like that. It was him and the way his verses, it just wouldn't fit the song.
Well, like perfect example is perfect example is the I forgot what it's called right now, but it's about the fathers, like their fathers. That song, like, is it all for me? That is the one.
So it comes right after my other favorite. Time
to let you know. Yeah, that one. So that one, he's incredible on, I feel like. And it's still not punchline heavy and stuff, but it's like you hear him saying some stuff.
Concept.
And that's kind of what I mean. It just feels more original as opposed to just rappy rap. I'll just rap, da.
But that's like, that's what makes, and some people don't recognize this. If you're familiar with a lot of stuff, if you've seen like hip hop and a lot of things, like if you see people that like can freestyle very well, and a lot of people that can like really spit like right off the top, like naturally, and say a whole bunch of quick stuff, most of the time, and I'm very confident in saying that, most of the time, when it comes to them actually making a song, it'd be
Yeah.
And it's because a song, when you're writing a song, it's something different. People are trying to get to know you when you're just rapping, and they're surprised by the element of it. It's almost just to be entertained. But when you're trying to bring forth a concept to somebody, like sometimes you got to bring it down a little bit more basic, or at least know how to stay in the element with stuff. And as you said, like Pooh, and especially at this time of his career or whatever like that, I believe he excelled when it came to that. When it came to like sticking with the concept and like, yo, this is the song, this is what it's about, and we're gonna go there. We're gonna make sure you understand what's happening in the song. Like, and just speaking of that dad song or whatever like that, like I felt that. Like I could feel sometimes you don't need to tell a story in a whole bunch of different, words and puns and all this other kind of stuff. It's like, no, tell me straight up as if I'm talking to you. Like I really felt like I was like sitting on the couch with them, like maybe in their therapist's office, like, and they're just talking, as ministers as we are, like sitting down and listening to people speak. Like, don't speak around something, just tell me straight up. And that's what I feel that Pooh did very well in this album.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably because I was searching for his best verse on the album, period. And I was thinking like whatever he does on that is probably the best to me. Again, he always sounds good, so that's not the issue.
Yeah.
But like the content, you know, that he's providing and like the way that he's kind of saying it, I guess, or putting it out there, like that's the issue for me. And that song is like, he does it perfectly to me.
Yeah.
Because the other songs is almost like, it feels like Fonte's doing his thing. And then like, all right, Fonte's gonna take a little break. All right, here's Big Pooh. Like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of feels like that, just so you can get back to Fonte. And like,
oh god.
But don't get me wrong, like I rap all of Big Pooh's stuff. Like I rap it, you know. Like
You just call Lil Pooh an intermission. I say Lil Pooh, but Big Pooh, you know what I mean. Big Pooh, you just called him an intermission,
hey,
bro.
Put some respect on his name, bro. Put some respect on his name. Good night. He said Lil Pooh. Woo! Woo-wee.
I told you I was gonna throw it in there sooner or later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your little Pooh with your little raps and your little
rappy raps. Yeah. Your little brother.
No disrespectful. No disrespectful. Your little brother. Nice.
Little brother.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kyron. Just wanted to let you know this episode went a little long, so we went ahead and made it a two-parter. So if you want to hear the rest of the review, go ahead and listen to episode 2. Peace.
Thank you all for joining and listening to the For Music's Sake podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, and also go check out our website, formusicsake.org. We drop new episodes every Tuesday. Come and join us next time. All right, thank you. Bye.